Okay, great. I'm recording now.
Yeah.
Okay. Just introduction, big picture. We're recruiting aggressively, both at the Cornell and MIT career fairs. And our mission today is to find a programmer in particular to work on Invention Universe, the project we're going to present this evening. We hope that we will be able to recruit you, Shirley, to be a long-time happy and wealthy builder on the Build It Yourself team. So that's our mission. Our main mission tonight is to pique your interest in joining our programming team. So we have Michael and Lucian from MIT working on Invention Universe, Andy, who's in high school, and I'm the chief builder at Build It Yourself. I'm a double E out of Cornell, and my favorite things to do are build, especially build toys. And Build It Yourself has been the most interesting project I've ever worked on. So our mission to inspire and guide kids to use technology and in a creative way, in a unique global laboratory. Our content is developed to be optimized. It's optimized for online presentation, and it's designed to inspire and guide kids to build all kinds of websites, robots, contraptions. And in particular, our strategy to do that is we develop content. We have 30 projects. We have a network of TAs. Our TAs are artists and engineers from primarily at the moment from MIT, Harvard, and Cornell, but other well-known schools. We have one project we call Build It Blocks. It's our construction system. It's inspired by Lego, but it includes Scratch, the Arduino. And then we have Invention Universe. Those are the 4 pillars of our program, and all together they make our unique global laboratory. Online e-learning is our venture. The goal of Invention Universe is to enable kids to post a portfolio of projects that they could have fun sharing with their buddies, and that might ultimately be useful in a school application. We expect kids to be with us for 5 years, or we hope they will be. And during that time, they should have a portfolio of some 30 technology projects, art and technology projects. Invention Universe is an integration of a computer game, the computer game Spore in particular, where you create life forms in a universe. In our universe, you create inventions, populate the universe with inventions. It's a part social media site and part content channel where you can post your projects. Okay, so with that, let me hand the ball off to Michael, and he'll drive you all through the front end of Invention Universe.
So we host our site here, and most of our application, at least the front, is built in React.js because our application is quite dynamic, which entails a lot of changing updates to the front end. And React is a library built by Facebook to handle a lot of front end websites. This is the loading page for our website, Invention Universe. Basically, the universe is divided into galaxies, which are divided into systems and planets. And each planet is owned by a certain user who is able to custom design the planet to their liking. For instance, this planet has been designed by a user. It's called and yeah, once you log in, you're able to create a planet. So for instance, if I want to call this Xfair, I can choose a custom look for the planet. And once I submit it, I'm able to go into it and I'm able to edit the aesthetic of the planet. I can even upload custom images, which we use using an S3 bucket in our AWS backend, which I'm sure Lucian will elaborate on in the future. And the user can update the the terrain, the sky of the planet to their personal taste. They can place graphics from a library of images that we created. And they can, of course, update the size and move them around to their liking in the way that best helps them express their creativity. Andy, would you like to talk a bit about the Labview?
Yeah, so with the users presenting their projects, we really wanted to make this portfolio. And so if you go to the view project page, you can see this is where a user would present their projects. And so basically this gives them a way to show off their project to the rest of the kids in the universe. And then another way that we've kind of integrated the social connection is through comments and liking a page. So at first we made this like button so that the users can basically like a person's page to kind of give them some feedback. And then also we have later created this comments section so that users can communicate with each other and share ideas and really create a community together. And then we hope to, in the future, improve this social interaction amongst the kids to furthermore the sharing of the community.
Great. Great, Andy. Okay, we're in the process of rebuilding the whole Labview, and we're particularly looking for programmers to rebuild this. So I understand you're interested in UX. We have a vision that this one room is going to turn into 3 rooms, and we would love to have your input on how we can improve the UX experience here. The goal is to make it as computer game-like as possible, to encourage kids to share ideas as much as possible, and to make it easy, quick, and exciting to post their projects. That's the user experience goal. Okay, before we sort of open up for questions and suggestions, Lucian, would you like to talk about the back end?
Yeah, let me just share screen real quick. So our backend that we have for this application actually has gone through a lot of evolution as we've developed and redeveloped this. And so right now we're using an AWS driven backend. And so we have a lot of AWS.
Lucian, excuse me for interrupting. Pawan, I see 14 participants. Are they in the waiting room? There's only 7 of us.
Oh, so it includes panelists and attendees. So there are 7 panelists and 7 attendees, making it.
Oh, I see. Okay, great. So hello, welcome everyone. I'm not sure when you joined, but great. Thank you for explaining. Sorry for interrupting, Lucian. Great.
Yeah, no problem. So our backend is hosted via AWS, and we use a lot of their services in order to optimize our backend and keep track of metadata. And so the reason we use this model is because it allows us 2 really big things. The first one is scalability, which is really important because ideally when this application is fully developed and is released, we're looking to have upwards of 150,000 users. And at any given point, we could have up to like 30,000 concurrent users is our estimate. And with that kind of user flow, we really need to be able to have a very scalable backend that can withstand these kinds of influxes of users. So we've been using that as a really, really important and powerful tool. And the second is that it really reduces the amount of effort that we have to put into like actually hosting servers and doing all of this work that isn't necessarily the development itself. So we use these systems in order to really maximize our effectiveness in developing this project. Now, as far as the backend goes, we needed to be able to keep track of a lot of various projects, assets, aliens, decorations, and different things that kids are uploading. So we have all of these stored in both S3 buckets and in the DynamoDB non-relational database system. And through a lot of different backend functions, we're able to connect all of these databases together and create a really seamless experience, which is what you saw in Michael's demonstration. As you can see from the diagram, which is a very, very simplified version of our backend, like overall structure. As far as navigation and universe displaying goes, all planets and all data that is like contained in those planets gets stored in a collection of databases, which are then referenced with the second area, which is customization and user info. And that's where we store all of the information specific to users. And so the collection of tables and collections of buckets there are also linked to navigation so that you can quickly navigate and find information in a really intuitive way that makes it a lot more fun than maybe other social media sites or other applications where you can upload data. And the third is really kind of a core element, which is our file storage and retrieval systems, which we've been really working on optimizing and making sure it's as fast and seamless as possible. And that allows users to upload really whatever they want to really express themselves on their planets and show off their cool projects. And that's been a really, really core component to making sure that this project works well with our overall goal, which is to inspire kids and get them into building by giving them a really interactive, fun, game-like way to show off their projects to people. As far as like one specific block diagram of a module, for example, this is a very simplified version of how we manage our quadrants. And as you can see, it's more of like an input-output system where we have different properties featured. And again, this is one of the many, many functions we have on our backend that takes in what we want to create and then outputs and stores something that can be actually retrieved later on. So this, for example, creates and stores a quadrant, which is an area of the universe that can be explored. And within there is stored galaxies, planets, and within those planets, projects, user information, and all of that. And that's been this kind of like hierarchy of data has allowed us to really organize what we're doing in Invention Universe. And another really important part that we've been working on, and a project that actually has just has been started about 2 months ago, was enabling us to track metadata, because that is something that's going to be really important when we have hundreds of thousands of users. And so to that extent, we've created, I, along with another developer, we're working on creating an administration panel, which allows us to track usage as far as uploading planets. Like we can track which users make the most decorations on their planets, which users post the most projects, who's getting liked, who's getting visited, and all of this information is then stored and is able to be displayed for administration use, and so that we can really see how our application is being used. And that, I think, is also a very, very powerful tool. And it's something that has been a really interesting way to understand data analysis and understand this metadata that's been going through our system.
That, excuse me for interrupting, Lucian, that information or that part of the backend could also be used to help us gamify Invention Universe to give points for certain activities or time on time spent on the site. Great. Thank you, Lucian. Thank you, Michael, Andy. So we'd like to open this up to you for questions and suggestions about to add to our wish list. I welcome all of you who came maybe a little bit after we started. It would be great if you could add your emails to the chat box, so we can. I know who many of you are, but if you could add your emails, we'll have it all together. So we'd like to talk about our wish list and get your ideas on what you like about Invention Universe and what you think could be even better. Before we go there, let me just drive you through 10 or so slides that show you different planets. This was created by Memo in Mexico, all of about 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old. This was created by Begonia, also in Mexico. This was created by Xinxin in China. We drive kids to do these kinds of drawings in PowerPoint. So all of the graphics that you see here were done in PowerPoint. And on Invention Universe, many of these are animated GIFs. So like the animated GIF that Michael uploaded, we teach kids to do that. And the drawing tool we use is PowerPoint. This is created by Andy, who just presented the Labview to you. Andy is a world record holder Lego first builder. He's really into Lego. And this is a planet I created. All these graphics again were done by PowerPoint and then uploaded into Invention Universe. These are pumpkins we made at Halloween at Build It Yourself. So you can upload and place them and size them as you like. This is made by another of our developers. And it doesn't have to be planet looking. It can be contemporary abstract art you can make on the planet. So we have a lot of artists on our team. It's a team where we try very hard to integrate art and technology. So a good percentage of our team are art majors in school. And this is a rough sketch of the new laboratory view that we're starting to execute now. Okay, so love to hear your feedback. What parts of this you think you might like to work on? Any ideas you have about how we can improve the functionality, to gamify it, to make it more social, and to make it quicker, easier, and more dramatic to show off your portfolio of projects. Emily, I don't know you. Could you share a little bit about your background? Emily Zhang? Jang?
I'm not sure if she's connected through microphone.
Right. Okay. Harry, thank you, Pawan. Harry, I don't know you either. Or Henry, would you like to share a little bit about your background and what you're interested in? And Joseph also, I don't know you.
Yeah, sure. I guess so. My name is Henry Haberger. I'm a freshman currently planning to major in electrical engineering and computer science at MIT. And right now I'm pretty much exploring quite a few different areas. I'm doing a software development internship with a startup in Israel. And I did a machine learning research project last semester.
Great. And you're looking for summer internship, or are you going back to Israel?
Right now I'm kind of just looking at different internship opportunities that are available.
Great. Okay. Any thoughts on what you like about Invention Universe, or what you think would be interesting to add to Invention Universe?
Well, I definitely think it's a great way to allow kids to be able to kind of express their creativity and create things. I have to think a little bit more about other things I think that should be added to it.
Sure, sure. Henry, Joseph, Shirley, Sisha, Sisha, Shirley, Uben, and I know from our past talks, but please chime in. Joseph, since I don't know you, could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure.
What you're interested in? Mhm.
I am a sophomore studying electrical engineering and computer science. I don't really have that much experience with software engineering, but I came to the talk just because I heard from friends about it, and it seemed like an interesting kind of like it seemed really interesting. So I was like, I'll learn about it. I guess some thoughts on how to like gamify or socialize. I don't know if like you've already said this, but is there a way to kind of like view random planets, or like if, as you pointed out, like some people are using it like to create like planet-like things, and some people are like using it to make art. Is there a way to like distinguish between those and like kind of like browse planets that are like more art focused versus like browse planets that are more like niche focused kind of thing?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very good question. When you're, we need to find ways to filter the planets so that you can quickly zero in on planets that are art-based or planets that are Lego-based. It's a very good point. It's been floating around in the back of my mind. How do we navigate Invention Universe quickly without spending a lot of time looking at planets that are not of interest to us? Very good point. Okay. Shirley, Sisha, Sony, any suggestions for ideas for Invention Universe? Uben?
I had a quick question. So on the slide with the cubicle game room, and you said you wanted to expand the room into 3 rooms. Can you elaborate more on what you mean by that?
Sure. Let me go to a different PowerPoint here. So this is the spec for our Labview. The basic fundamentals of this have been, the basic architecture has been set by Yulin, a CS major at Cornell. And so we first started with just what's the look and feel like, and as opposed to the modern look and feel, we chose the kind of Rube Goldberg 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea feel. So this came from that, and what we envision is 3 rooms, 1 room to post your bio, 1 room to post your projects, and a 3rd room to socialize. So you get into each of these rooms by clicking on the doors to the right or left. And each room will have a set of screens and an alien that can guide you through for help. So we envision changing this. I don't even have an example of it here, but the one room that you might have seen in some of the PowerPoint or the existing demo that we showed you is turning into 3 rooms. Did I answer your question, Shirley?
Yeah, that clarified it a lot.
Great.
Thanks.
Great. Okay. Cool. So since you're into UX, can you give us a grade on 1 to 10? How we're doing on the navigation, the graphics, the user experience?
I think the navigation is very good. Like the doors make it really clear which room you would be taken to when you enter them, and I like the graphics. let's see what else. I think for the current design with the current game room, I noticed that you had a form with, I think, where the user could input their login information or something along those lines, which I think it looked good to me. Yeah. Right. I really like the graphics on this page.
Yeah, yeah. So the graphics that you saw in Labview were done by an amateur, i.e. me. So we're looking for a graphic designer to completely redo the graphics in the Labview.
Oh, cool.
What you see is just an early prototype.
Yeah.
So this user interface is Michael's the genius, the mastermind behind all of this. But it's really easy to, I think it's very easy to create planets. And one of your symbols that you put on your planet is your Labview. So that at the moment goes to this look and feel.
Right. And for the planets, can the user make it entirely from scratch, or is there a selection of components they choose from to build a planet?
Good question. So all of these planets that you see here were uploaded. They were either created in PowerPoint and turned into GIFs, or the pumpkin is a photograph. So you can choose from our library of planets, aliens, rockets, landscapes, and skies, or you can upload your own images.
Okay, cool.
So you can, yeah, you can turn the planet to look pretty much any way you like. So here's, yeah. Who else haven't we talked with? Sonny, welcome, Sonny. Oh, you're not, oh yeah. Sonny, can you share with us a little bit of your background and what you're into? May not be there. Joseph? Hi, Joseph. Okay, great. Well, unless there are any more questions, I hope, I know some of you I will get back to you because we've talked before. Others who are new to our circle, please put your emails if you'd like to explore opportunities at Build Yourself. Please put your emails in the chat box.
I think Sunny texted in the chat that he's in a noisy space, so couldn't unmute.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm not monitoring the chat. Thank you, Pawan. Great. Hold on a second. Let me stop sharing and get the chat. Sorry, I can't unmute my, okay, Sonny, no problem. Great. All right, guys. Hope to see you in the near future. Michael, Lucian, Andy, thank you. Pawan and Ivy, thanks for organizing.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming and conducting this webinar.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
I hope some of you got pizzas out of this. Michael, who's your buddy? Okay. I hope some of you got pizzas out of this. If not, a job offer. You either get pizzas or a job offer. All right, guys. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sisha, I'll be back. I'll be with you and Shirley in email.
Okay, cool. Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you, Shirley, and to you. So, Pawan and Ivy, may I ask how, relative to other tech talks, this is all new to us. So, can you give us some feedback? How does this compare with other tech talks?
To be honest, this is the first one. Like I was moderating, so I don't know how other went, but I think it went pretty like nicely. You moderated it really nicely. Generally, like in top tech talks, we also ask questions. So I could have also asked questions from you to get it going.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it goes, and I think it went pretty smoothly and well. Like Ivy, if you have any other suggestion.
Ivy,
I appreciated how interactive it was. I
mhm.
think most of the time the tech talks are more of like the companies kind of talking at you, but this one felt more like talking with the people.
Mhm.
But yeah, it seemed
Great.
a lot more personal.
Great. Great. Well, that's kind of what we try to do. It's very informal here. What are you going to be doing at Facebook, Pawan, if I may ask?
Oh, so right now the job description is not fixed because like in Facebook as an undergrad intern, like a month before the intern starts, they give you a form asking what you're interested in and what you want to explore. And depending on what you fill in the form, they match you with the team.
I see. One of our developers of Invention Universe, actually, quite a few years ago, went to Facebook after he graduated. He was at Purdue, and he got his picture taken with Mr. Zuckerberg. It's his pride. He did an internship there, and then they ultimately hired him, and he got a picture with the chief.
Yeah, I think like if it's in person, the Mr. Zuckerberg meet all the interns, but sadly this time it's remote again. So not sure if you will be able to meet him, but yeah.
Right. Ivy, what are you going to be doing this summer?
Oh, I'm branching out a little bit. I'm actually going to be doing trading.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the opposite of what we do. Okay, so you want to make some money, huh?
I'm just like shopping around, seeing what it's like.
Okay. All right. Well, we hope to make some money too, but in a different way. Good. Okay, well, good luck trading on Wall Street. Okay, guys, much thanks. I hope we'll have the chance to do this again next year. We've been at MIT career fairs for 4 or 5 years and we love them. I gotta say, this year we did the career fair at Cornell and we had, I think 49 visitors. It was a different platform. And at the MIT career fair, we only had like 6 visitors for the 4 or 5 hours. Did other companies have similar experiences? Do you know? Usually at the MIT career fair, we get 50 resumes.
In general,
This time we only got 6.
Because it's virtual, it's a little bit more difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this end.
Did you hear that feedback from other companies as well? That it was not as well attended as the face-to-face career fair?
In general, yeah, I think a little bit. Even the general fall career fair, I think was much more sparsely populated than it usually is.
Okay. That wasn't the case at Cornell. So I was just curious. I have a feeling it might have been the platform or maybe perhaps who knows, but it was interesting to me to note the difference in the way MIT and Cornell handled the career fair.
Yeah, we actually definitely had it wasn't a very easy time deciding which platform to use, and I believe we should be sending out a feedback form. You may have done it already. So if you guys have any problems you faced or any suggestions for how to make it better, hopefully our next career fair won't also be virtual, but we'd still love to hear any feedback you have.
Right, right. Actually, I don't mind the virtual career fair. I kind of like it. You know, the travel and the setup, I think it can be more efficient. I think the key is to promote it and make sure that, and I thought the Brazen platform gave companies a very good opportunity to present their you know, their product, present their company. The chat, I didn't like the idea of that at first, but when I saw it in action, I thought it was actually pretty efficient because it was like speed dating, you know, you move from one date to the next real quick. And I kind of got that after a while.
Yeah, you also don't have to wait in a line, right? You could just register multiple companies at the same time, and then the Brazen just gives you a notification, oh, you are up.
Yeah.
You don't have to waste time in like standing in a long queue. You could just register for it, and Brazen will take care of that for you.
Here, right on, yeah. Well, when you get to Facebook, Pawan, if you see an opportunity to open some doors for us at Facebook, we're looking to, you know, part of our business development plan is to partner not so much with the Facebooks of the world, but with the media companies of the world, the Netflixes and the streaming media companies of the world, to create an education channel. I don't know if there's such, I know Zuckerberg is quite interested in education, but I'm not familiar with the details of, other than his charity work, I'm not familiar with the details of what Facebook is doing on the education front, but appreciate a connection if
Sure.
you see any.
Yeah, like if there's any way, sure.
Great, great. Okay, I don't want to burn your time. I know you got lots of PSETs to do.
No. Yeah, I
Okay.
really enjoyed the whole webinar. It was fun. Yeah.
Okay. See you guys.
See ya. Bye-bye. Have a great night.
Thanks for joining, Sisha. Thanks, Emily.